Hello, this is Solomon, and this is going to be a guide on how to use artillery. Maybe one of the... I won't say least used defenses, maybe balloons are used less. But you don't see artillery a whole lot because it's a 180 food unit that can't move. So the enemy person can just like make 3 farms or something. But anyway, there are really, I guess, 3 or 4 main categories of artillery usage. First one is just putting it in the middle of the map for map control, which there's the issue of actually getting it set up in the first place because you're going to be down 180 food while that unit is building. So then your army is just going to like run over you generally. But this video is specifically going to go across that usage of putting it down in the middle for map control and how to do that, or at least how I go about doing it. The second use is for defense, like trying to get out, like put it down on like one base and make it tier 3 really quickly and have minimal actual army. That's pretty cheesy. You can still usually be countered with eco, or even just like some falcons or something. It just doesn't work usually. Very map dependent. Then there's also a defending full late game. Like you have 3 mills on your side and the terrain's favorable, so you just put down artillery and you don't have to worry about the enemy army contesting since it's close to your base. But again, that's very, very map dependent and we usually can't do that. Then, what was that our use? That's kind of like all of them. So, okay, this guide goes over getting out usually early artillery for map control and milk it so you have more mills on your side essentially. Now, the way you want to do this is, again, you're going to be down 180 food while the artillery is building. So you first of all, you get a power spike for your army. The power spike I go for is quick tier 2. So I have tier 2s before the enemy does. So I have tier 1s, skrills, then tier 2s skunks generally, against usually enemy master 1. Since for tier 2 usually isn't out yet, at least that's the plan. Then the next phase is you build a mill. Now, you don't put the artillery in front of the mill. That's how you die. Don't put the artillery in front of the mill. Put the artillery behind the mill or to the side of the mill. Because again, you're down 180 food. So you need to use the mill to your advantage. Play around the mill. Use the mill to tank. Or create like a choke point. Just use the mill. Don't put the artillery in front of the mill. You only put the artillery in front of the mill if you like won an early victory. So you have an army advantage. Now, the second part of this is you need a second fortification to do this. Because, okay, there's pretty much 2 types of artillery decks. There's artillery deck that's 5 units in artillery piece. Then there's an artillery deck that's 4 units artillery, then another fortification. Now, 5 units and 1 artillery, well, the thing is, 90% of the time, well, maybe not 90%, maybe more like just 80% of the time, you're just never going to build artillery. Because for the aforementioned reasons, like you're going to be down 180 food during that time span that you're building artillery, so your army's just going to get run over. So artillery is just rare and very situational in 5 unit, 1 artillery decks. And at that point, why even bring artillery in your deck? The second type of deck is an artillery and the fortification, and the other 4 units, like, literally don't matter. This is just what I'm usually run pigeons, moles was a misclick. You can use whatever 4 units you want. It doesn't matter. This is just what I happen to run. But then you place down the defense that you spam by the artillery while it's building. It has to be something that's 10 seconds. So sniper balloons are 120 food, so they're super expensive. They're 20 seconds, and they're building close to an enemy. So 20 seconds is too much time. Like the drone's gonna get run over, and sniper balloons aren't good anyway, because this is early in the game, and he's gonna have master 1 90% of the time. And it's like sniper balloon's not gonna do anything. It's worthless. So that leaves barbed wire, mines, and turrets. Turrets are 60 food, and they, in my opinion, have much less use than barbed wire and mines. Now, barbed wire versus mine is a whole other video. But I personally run barbed wire, but you can run either. So, I tend to set up my barbed wire before I set up the artillery piece. I mean, sometimes you can set up the defense after the artillery piece. It really depends. But in this case, you can see, like, I'm playing around the middle, and there's like a choke point right here. And I always have your barbed wire or mines, like, or whatever defense, like several tiles away from the artillery. Because it's on the adjacent tile, like it's gonna get shot at. If it's farther away like this, units that are trying to shoot or attack the artillery piece are actually gonna be damaged by the barbed wire. Like scales or lizards are actually gonna be taking damage. And here there's also like this choke point. So skunks are being really nice here. It's just choke points are just nice in general, generally. Okay, now he goes in. So it's 10 skrills, 2 skunks versus 9 skrills, 4 lizards, 3 pigeons, 2 skunks. Although he has a very staggered engagement, and the and the barbed wire is pitching in here, and like this is a really nice choke point. So the fight's a bit even, but that doesn't matter. The goal was to get the artillery up. That's what matters. And generally, you still need. It's just still really terrain dependent. It's much less terrain dependent than the other uses of the artillery. But you still need like favorable mills and a way to cut the map in half. Well, this map is extremely favorable since it's basically a giant choke point right here, and I can control the mills really easily. Now here's the next part of the guide. Now you can do artillery creep too. That's very, very situational. And just a heads up, in any given game, you're only going to be able to do artillery creep like 1 or 2 times. You're pretty much never going to do it more than 2 times. Because let's say it takes a minute and a half at the quickest. Like, if the enemy's trying to contest you, a minute and a half at the quickest to actually set up the next advance, which you do with an artillery range, like what I'm doing here. So you're only getting advanced so much, but again, this will kill the mill. And hit a lot of army. But it just takes so much time to do an artillery advance that the enemy always has a plan. So as you're doing this, the enemy's going to be making tier 3s or something, or they're going to be planning some sort of attack. So like the game's going to be over before you can, like just, you're never going to be able to artillery creep across the map. The game's going to end before that, one way or the other. Because the enemy generally doesn't just let a person artillery creep on them. This was kind of really not awesome. Like, there's artillery right here, so I'm not sure I built this mill. Or if I put farms on it. Or barbed wire. Also, personally, when I'm being aggressive artillery like this, I don't tend to go huge eco. I tend to artillery creep or get tier 3. Since I'm just an aggressive player. Yeah, now this one's up. And now at this point, it's just game over. Since he doesn't have any economy. So also, generally, unless it's like super high economy late game, you're generally, like, if it's early like this, you really never want more than 2 artillery at a time. Because don't forget the neglect your army. Like, you can only put so much faith in artillery. Like, it's a great unit, but like it's gonna have trouble against falcons. Well, I can't even shoot falcons, and it's not invincible, or it doesn't destroy everything instantly either. Like, it's a powerful unit, but don't neglect your army. And here I put down Kasha. Here I was just setting up for another artillery advance. Oh yeah, so he like snuck around with lizards, but I ended up catching his army out. And it's actually not a one-sided trade. It's a solid victory, but I took a lot of damage. That's a move point. Let's just get forward. This game's over. But yeah, artillery creep is not a thing that usually happens. It's rare. few more videos. Like the all the maps that I show, like again, you have to have favorable terrain. Like there's lots of mills that your artillery can influence, and first of all, this mill's in the middle, so you have territory that you can place your artillery down. Then of course, you need terrain to helpful to prevent flanking. Like if you're around your artillery piece, but lizards just like destroy your base mill or something, yeah, that's not good. Now on this map, I don't need a mill though, because I can just put barbed wire down here, then put my artillery piece on high ground, then I basically get 4 extra mills. He has 2. He has 1 extra mill. Also, it's also important to note that artillery has a big like circle of influence or area of influence. It's not the range of artillery. So let's say I put an artillery piece on the high ground and it can shoot the first row of pigs, but it can't shoot the mill. See, but you can put your army right here. So you can put your army in artillery range, and the range of your army is like the effective range of your or effective area of influence of your artillery, because the enemy can't chase your army or without coming under artillery fire. So you can operate your army safely at the range of the artillery. Then the range of the army can do more damage. If I explain that well, yeah, really close fire right here. I actually didn't have I didn't micro my skills by the pig. They were back here, so I actually almost lost the pig. I didn't. Then he goes for another attack, loses lizard. Which one lizard might seem like a whole lot, but like 1 tier 1 makes a difference in like these early low unit encounters. Like that destroyed any chance of counter attacking. Pretty much. At least in the next 20 seconds. And I'm setting up for the artillery piece. In this case, I didn't need to wait for skunks to get an army power spike, but the enemy like misplayed their early engagement, so they lost tempo. And like, so I have the time necessary to set up an artillery piece, since I know they're not going to have the necessary army to contest it, because they lost too much early. So yeah, he's ecoing up, which is generally, yeah, a really good response to artillery. In this case, it's not going to work though, since again, I can just stay behind my artillery. I'm just going to get... Like, you can't attack me without being hit by artillery, pretty much. Okay, now I'm adjusting my barbed wire line. Although it's not out of the question for him to try to flank through the water, but that's flanking through water, which is going to be difficult. I'm setting up another advance. Although in this particular instance, I would say I actually am pretty vulnerable to counterattack if you just came around this way. You could probably snipe the mill. Putting on caution now. He's going 5 boars, which is something. Doesn't have any falcons, which mass falcons good against artillery. I'm setting it yet again for another artillery creep. I think mass chameleons might have been better for him here. Maybe not. Maybe boars was the best bet, since again, artillery is not going to hit a unit that's constantly moving unless the enemy unit walks back into where the shell's going to land. Also, about flanking, like, you could have flanked me into here, but I also could have played better and just taken this mill instead, which wouldn't be under the threat of being flanked and destroyed. Here comes Fox. Now this is actually huge. So I get 2 shots off on the board. That may not seem like a lot, but that can be the difference between a mill, like my mill getting destroyed or not. Like if the mill lives for that much longer, like let's say I'm having trouble okay, 3 shots actually. So let's say I'm having trouble focusing down the board because of the tier 1 spam as the attack's going on. So I never actually hit the board until later. There's the fight. Like, see, what if, like, this boar was at full health, or there's another 50 HP boar? I could actually lose the mill right here, maybe. I mean, probably not, but... Anyway, the game's pretty much over as long as I don't mismark with a fox. Because he's gonna have a really hard time killing the fox. I'm just hiding in the pigs. Maybe if he had more tier 1 spam, like if he had like more tier 1 warrens maybe. Actually, he doesn't even have protection for all his current tier 1 warrens, that's what I was saying. Now we have a game against Saint. Okay, I was just making sure I started recording. Because yesterday I recorded this video, but then I realized I wasn't recording. I was like, wow. Okay, so Saint's running a very, how to say, very meta deck. Like Skrill, Pigeon, Falcon, Chameleon, Badger, Vine. Like that's just, like if there was a meta deck picture, like that'd be in the textbook. Lion's popular. Like all those units are popular. Maybe except for Pigeon. I'd actually probably say Pigeon is the least popular pick on that deck. Now maybe Badger is less popular though. I don't know. Well, of course, you can like make pretty much any deck work. There's so many deck options in Tooth and Till, but this is like just now seems to me like a very standard deck. So yeah, he's doing some quick warns, whatever reason. So he's on 7 farms, on 8 farms. And he's actually doubling down on this, which is like 7 farms versus 8 farms is such a huge difference. That's like what, 12.5%? More than that, I think. Like it's huge. Like it's an extra tier 1 for me every 20 seconds. And like 6 skills is gonna kill 5 skills. Here's that other thing. He attacks his 6 skills, but I'm gonna have my skills up by the time this happens. And his commander just died. I don't really bother microing this. If I did, I would have lost like 3 less skills probably. At least 2 less skills. Anyway, so he basically just lost tempo and lost too much arming to do anything. And now I'm also gonna I'm about to get my skunks up. So I'm gonna have Skunk Skrill versus this first Skrill that just lost a bunch of units. So I'm in a really, really good position, artillery group. I go ahead and grab the campfire. 2. Once again, if both players are like on one base, the campfire makes a huge difference. He's putting down mines. I'm putting down tier 1 warrens. I'm waiting for my second skunk to get up here. I don't want to engage yet. Go ahead and buy the mill. He also buys it. Oh yeah, this is really important. If you're trying to do this early artillery, it's really, really important whether your enemy is going second mill or not. Because if you're going to, or if they're getting an expansion quickly or early, if they get an expansion, it's going to be much harder for their army to contest yours. Because you're only going to be 120 food down. Yeah, well, there's still 180 food down actually, because you got the mill plus the artillery piece. While they just get a mill, so you're actually still 180 food down, but actually that means in regular circumstances you're 240 food down because mill plus artillery, and that's if the enemy's on one base. I'm setting up. Again, I'm putting it to the side of the mill. He comes to try to attack the barbed wire. And I actually have the fight goes really well for me because 2 skunks. I run into all the mines, unfortunately. Which, I mean, I kept those skunks alive, which is it really counts. Anyway, so, but I just won the engagement. So I just go ahead and decide to build artillery piece, since I don't need the barbed wire. Oh, barbed wire is still really good. But I was able to sell it off in that immediate moment to get the artillery up quicker, since I didn't need the barbed wire in that immediate moment because I had so much more army. He's just taking really, really bad engagements. Farms, he's doubling down on the one base. And he's going across the 4 chameleons. And this is always something to be aware of, this base trades. So I just end up attacking into his base too. Now base trades aren't necessarily the worst thing, depending on how it plays out, because you're still going to have a mill up, so you can go back and defend it, and with your artillery piece, you should be able to defend it against enemy army if he's base trading. Thing is, you're generally going to lose a lot of your production unless you put all your production in range of the artillery, or the map worked out like that. Usually it doesn't though. But finally in base trades, those tend to turn into very scrappy situations, so you can just sell off your artillery piece and you have 180 food, which is like a huge amount if it's a low economy situation. So yeah, I run back to my base since I don't want to lose the mill. He ends up taking this mill. And I just end up farming up. I keep the artillery because 4 chameleons is a lot. Okay, so this is really funny, and this is part of the reason I like barbed wire a lot. Because chameleons reveal themselves when they run across it. Like, he loses 1 chameleon, then he loses another one. Yeah, so he lost 2 chameleons there, which is huge. And yeah, the game's over since I'm about to go to 8 farms and he's on 1 farm. Putting barbed wire around my artillery piece, so if cams try to go after it when I move out, like, the artillery piece will just blow up the cams. I go ahead and attack into his base again. He's coming around. He doesn't actually gain anything there. That's why I just had a ton of fear, so I just put out a bunch of tier 1 warns. Like, he's trying, but I'm just way ahead, so. So in summary, artillery for like just a defense is bad because enemies is going to go economy. They're probably going to lose. Or otherwise, it's very situational for what to be good for defense. Using it to get like in one base tier 3 is. I mean, I can go into that, but it's just not that good a strategy. I mean, it can work, but a lot of things can work. So, but yeah, artillery you really want is for map control. Like, so you have more mills on your side of the map. And yeah, pretty much that. And you can try to make it more aggressive with artillery creep too. But in order to do the aggressive, like what I was just doing, this is what I mainly do when I use artillery. To do the aggressive artillery, you need to have a defense in your deck to put around the artillery piece. You need to build it to the side or behind a mill and use the mill to your advantage. Either as like a choke point and mill taking, because we're going to be down so much food, 180 food or 240 food down. So there's like while the artillery piece is building, which is 45 seconds, which is a lot. Or you need to have an early victory that you win. Like the enemies try and do pre-8 farm harass, but then they end up losing like a bunch of their tier 1s. So then you just have free reign for the next minute or whatever. Don't build too many artillery. Like, you probably never want more than 2 artillery unless it's like super late game. And don't put all your faith in artillery. Don't forget to build units. You gotta make sure the enemy's not going mass falcons or something. Don't forget you can sell your artillery for 180 food if you don't need it anymore. Yeah, that concludes this video.